All right, guys, this is take two on this video. Uh, Went through, computer was freezing up a little bit, but yeah. So just a quick little recap on what it is we're moving away from. Saw a sharp move to the downside right at CME open. Big move to the downside. I actually got stopped out of my trade. I had a stop loss down here of the low. It looks like currently we are coming back on the value area low. We did have some resistance there, right? We didn't hit any significant resistance. We did have a previous point of control that was, actually, this is up here. This point of control before that big pivot was up here. No? Yeah. We had a point of control up here, and as price developed, the point of control shifted to lower, right? So now we are trading at the value area low, coming from a big move to the downside. Sunday night move should make for an interesting Monday, because whenever we have a big move on a Sunday, and big money wasn't really in the move, right? It makes for a big juicy move on Monday. Now, I'm hearing some reports that the New York Stock Exchange might not be open because of some big storm or something like that. We'll see how that plays out. I don't know. I'm going to be at the markets tomorrow, seated as usual, 6 a.m., trading in the group, live trading. And from there, let's just go through the daily order of operations. So that's the context review. What are we moving away from? Examining the highs and the lows. We did have a big move to the downside. We can examine that move to the downside. For that, I'm going to bring up ATAS. I'm going to drag this over here. And we're going to kind of just look at the open interest situation at the lows and the highs. So here at the lows, as you can see, we didn't really have any significant event at the pivot, right? Of course, we did have a big move to the downside. As we went down, we were building open interest up. Now here at the lows, you can see here that we did have a big open interest up move with 10 million negative delta. So there was a big candle with a lot of negative delta. And from there, we started to move an upside swing, really trapping out and squeezing out those shorts. As you can see, the open interest was dropping. And then now we're seeing a lot more shorting coming in. And we are seeing a little bit of local bullish divergence. As you can see, price low, low, lower low, but this is a higher low and we have shorts. So I am guessing that this is going to play out with a little bit of a bigger move to the upside. So this is my daily order of operations. What I like to do is I like to examine what are we moving away from? What has occurred since the last time I was at the charts? What it happened at the last two significant pivots? And now you know that right here, we saw a lot of shorting. Those shorts got caught off sides. Bam, moved to the upside. CVD is still going to the downside. So we have aggressive sellers coming to the downside with short positions opening up, but price isn't going down. So this is a good situation for a little bit of a squeeze. Now, when we have a little bit of a squeeze, we want to ask ourselves next, what are we moving towards? So what are we moving away from and what are we moving towards? Well, for that, we're just going to apply basic horizontals. We've got daily support that we blew right through. So when we blow through support, we want to look for that support to act as resistance. We want to see some kind of reaction at that range. So from there, we're going to bring in our range. We're going to see we've got the value area low of this little range that we've been trading in. So we've got daily support that we're looking to act as resistance, the value area low back test. Let's bring in some naked daily point of controls. Not really anything directly in that zone right there, right? We might take this last pivot here. Pivot high, might anchor a little VWAP on it just to see what's going on there. All right, so yeah, maybe come up from here, from this high. Okay, so we do have the previous last high with the anchored VWAP that's lining kind of up. So in this area here, I'll probably be looking for a little bit of a decision. Right? This would be a little bit of a decision zone here. Now, what I kind of want to do right now is I just want to run through my order of operations. Now we know what I'm moving away from. So just top-down analysis. We're going to start off with the monthly candles. Now, as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months of down trending. In the history of Bitcoin, when will we have 5 consecutive months of downtrend? Here we've got 3, here we've got 3, here we've got 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. We have not had a 5 solid months of downtrending in years. So this is a strong move to the downside, right? This isn't about having an opinion on anything, right? We don't create opinions. We just take the data and we let the data speak for itself. We're going to be opening up a new weekly candle, but we do not have a new weekly level. Now we can see here as we come to the downside, we do have that monthly support right there. And we also have some weekly support right here. Underneath that weekly support, we have a nice liquidity level, right? We know that when we come sweep those lows, all these positions down here get closed out. So already immediately when I'm looking at this trade, if we did come and dip that lows, when we had a nice reclaim of this level, that is something where I would be interested in trading. I would be interested in taking out the liquidity of these lows and a nice solid reclaim. So for me, a solid reclaim would probably be 2 30-minute candle closes above either of these levels. Right? I want to see a nice reaction. I want to see value being built above this level with a nice wick to the downside. I'd probably look for, for me, I'm really judging it on a more of a lower time frame close, maybe a half hour or an hour candle with a nice wick to the downside with a close, building some value, seeing that open interest increase. I would like to see an open interest increase with heavy selling here, showing those trap traders. Okay, so another entry trigger that I would like to see in advance is when we did hit these lows, I would love to see an open interest decrease, just showing positions getting wrecked, right? Bitcoin loves to move everyone out of the market and then move away from them really quickly. It loves to get people to chase price, and then really that lifts the price and creates like an urgent situation for people to get back in. So that's what I'm looking for on that. Let's go to the daily perspective. So here on the daily perspective, we can see that this daily level is tapped. I am going to leave it out to see if this acts as some form of resistance. So we have daily support down here at 62,773, and we have some daily resistance here at 68,827. Other than that, we do have some daily levels down here, monthly, daily, weekly, and we'll see how that plays out there. Now, let's get in here and look at some more in-depth volume situations here on ATAS. See if we have any new naked levels. And we do. We've got a new naked daily point of control. Naked daily point of control sitting up there at 67,975. We can see we opened right outside of value. And it's a long way up, but you can see here that volume is very thin up there. So if price did gain some acceptance up here, which we are trading in there currently right now, this could be a quick move up. This is why I love ATAS and I love this perspective because it really shows you where the sticky points are. These sticky points are these high volume nodes. And then really the slippery parts are these low volume areas. Let's go here to the weekly perspective. Looking for these weekly NPOCs, and all I see right now is that 67,950. So that 67,900 is a really thick zone. I'm already seeing that here. That's a big, thick resistance zone. And come here to the monthly perspective, and we're going to look at that 67 zone, and that is going to be, wow, that's the monthly point of control. Right? 67.9. So 67.9 is a huge resistance zone as of right now. I'm going to go back over here to Trading View, and I am going to mark out these naked point of control levels. $67 975. And we're going to have a weekly $67,950. And that 950 is going to be a naked weekly point of control. So once again, that level is very, very thick, right? Going to come on over here and we are going to look at our TPO. Just get a little idea of the profile. And as you can see here, we left a nice, huge single print on the daily. This is going to be a key level that I really want to mark out. And I'm just going to come on here and do that. And I'm going to come up here and mark that out. Now this is going to give me an alert when we enter into this zone. I just kind of want to go here and I'm going to say that this is a key level. And this is a key level. Now, entry back into this zone, I would look to fill the gap, right? And once we did fill the gap, I would say that that might be, now we're not creating bias, but we're just creating scenarios. If we did open and we came up here and we closed that gap, we would probably be closing the CME gap. And if we came up here to that 67.9 area, yeah, 67,950. I mean, right there, that's the time point of control of the previous day. Also, the naked daily point of control. Also, taking out this SFP. That might be something in the cards, right? Just coming on up here and looking at that. So that's something very much that I want to be aware of, is that close the gap. Close the gap. Look for acceptance. Look for acceptance or rejection. Because if we rejected from this level, we probably would seek, I would say we'd come out and hammer out these lows. Now let's go on here and let's look at our local order flow. Just kind of get an idea of what's going on here. So I can see here we had a low, we had a low, we have a lower low and a lower low. So that's on point. But like we discussed, locally, we are seeing a little bit of a bullish divergence, with the low, low, higher low, lower low. There's the divergence, right? Just telling you that there's a disagreement with the price in the market. The CVD, which is the aggressive sellers, are going to the downside. So people are selling this move. You think about this like this. CVD can't see perpetual positions. It can only tell you if somebody is aggressively selling or buying. So something is absorbing this price. And as you can see here, you have a large open interest increase with negative delta, right? You saw the buying show up right about here, but now the shorting is showing up and people are aggressively selling. So something is preventing the price from going down. This is why I would say that we would get acceptance into that gap. And actually, I don't know why this gap isn't global. Hold on. Let me just do something real quick. This key level here, this should be global. And then this should be global. Now, we can go back over here. And when we look at that level here, okay, so now, as you can see, now this is very, very key here. Now you can see that we see the shorting coming right into that key level, right? This is the single print on the daily profile. If we get acceptance into this zone, I would look to trade this to the other end. Now, what is on the other end of that? We've got that VWAP. We've got that monthly POC right here at 69. So I would say that this could be a good Monday move. What is this move? I'm going to show you. I'm going to come on over here to the 30-minute. We're going to make our daily plan, right? So let's say Monday morning or even London session. Price comes up. This is going to be our very much key level for the day, right? This is going to be our big decision zone for the day, right? We want to take our last high. Now we're just building up a case and we're saying here, because we're ranking our strength and resistance. That's not really helping out right there. Let's go over here to this high. Let's anchor this VWAP right there to that high, and that is right there on that level. Now, I don't want to create a bias for myself and say, this has to happen. But I can say that we have a strong move to the downside. I've got nice levels right there. I'm going to introduce my high time frame levels, and I'm going to introduce my range, and that is my range point of control. So let's play this out. Let's say we get acceptance into this level, right? We get acceptance, boom, up, we get sucked up, then we come here, maybe just a little lower high, and then a big move to the downside, maybe a little something here on this daily level. That could be the play of the day, but the biggest level is when we close that gap, what happens up here? So I am only interested in trading up here for the day. This is my decision zone. I'm not interested in anything else. This is my short scenario right here. What am I looking for here? I'm looking for an instant 5-minute rejection. Now, this isn't an SFP zone because there isn't any liquidity, but this is big resistance. So how does big resistance usually play out? So what is the entry trigger on big resistance? Well, it usually looks something like this. Usually we come up, we test, bounce, retest with the bullish divergences, and then we make our way to the downside. We did it right here, right? We did it right here. This is the move I'll be looking to fade for today, Monday, or even Tuesday, sometime this week. We are going to come on over here, and I'm going to kind of get rid of this. I'm going to keep all this. I'm going to put this into a file with my decision zones. This is the area that I'm interested in shorting. The other area that I'd be interested in shorting is up here, all right? If we did come up here to the daily value area high, first off, I want to do something real quick. I just want to see for all you trendline traders here, what does this look like? Does that look something like this? That doesn't really work. No problem. All right. So this is my decision of the day, my decision zones. That's my short scenario. For my long scenario, this would be kind of a laddered position. I would look for anything down in this area here. I'm looking for maybe a shakeout of this weekly. Anything in here, I would look for a reversal pattern, right? Maybe price comes up here, does a little bit of this, sinks to the downside, boom, 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 boom. And then a nice little move to the upside for the final pump. Could be, or this could just be the pump, reclaim, come on up here, fake everyone out. Definitely, always got to have a plan B in these scenarios, right? So I'm going to come on here. These are my plans. Bam, boom. A little messy, but it makes sense to me. So yeah, guys, that's what I'll be looking at for the day. I'll be looking at that 69,000 level. Acceptance into the gap, close the gap, look at the reaction at the value area low. If not, the point of control is very, very juicy. If not the point of control, I would look for a higher level, but it's Monday. It's Monday. We got a big week ahead of us. Let's see what we got in the news, trading economic calendar. And on Monday, we have factory orders, factory transportation, 3-month bill auction, nothing really a big market mover. Let's go to Tuesday. Tuesday, rebook year over year. The Fed Bostic is speaking. So we've got some Fed speakers, the housing price index month over month, year over year. We've got another Fed talking. So on Tuesday, we do have some news, not really any big market makers. We are going to have some multiple Feds speak. Let's go to Wednesday, 30-year mortgage rate, right? Gasoline and crude oil stocks, that's a big market mover. We're looking for that big event, jobless claims. Okay, here we go. On the Thursday, right? Before market opening, jobless claims, right? We're looking for the 4-week average, natural gas stock change. So we have some 4-week bill auction. We've got the bonds. We've got the 15-year mortgage rate. This is some market movers coming on Thursday. And then Friday, we've got our numbers. Okay. So here's how I'm looking to plan the week. I might look for some volatility on Monday, big move to the upside, fake out, and then maybe some big move to the downside. Now, Trump is really in a tough spot right now. Trump just had his Fed thing shot down. We went into Mexico. We're seeing all this crazy shit happen in Mexico. They want to distance themselves from that. I could really see us pumping into Friday and then a big fade when they have to really come out with these numbers. But you never know, right? This is all just speculation. Other than that, we do have some news on Friday. We do have some news on Thursday. So I would look for some repricing in. And this could already be, right? This could already be the pricing. I mean, it's not probably a big surprise that we see this big move to the downside after a federal, the Supreme Court decision, big move to the downside. Monday morning we come in, we fill in some gaps, and then on Friday we get a big move. So I'm going to take it very easy this week. I am going to be trading live in the group. We'll see how it goes. I hope that helps, guys. That's what I'm looking at. That's where I'm looking at it, and that's why I'm looking at it. Always have a plan. Always have your plan in advance. If you're not planning your trade, then you're planning to fail. You're just gambling. Don't do it. You're better off going to Vegas. Make your plans, have your decision zones, have a solid entry trigger plan, and always have a plan B. Do not engage in a trade unless you have an invalidation, and always know what your target is. Don't just blindly get into a trade and think it's going to sit there forever, right? We're always looking at where's price trying to go, how good of a job is it doing getting there, and what's in its way. All right, guys, stay tuned. We got more for you, and I hope that really helps.